This episode of Run It Back Philly is brought to you by Factor Meals. Fresh cooked meals at your doorstep for as little as $11 a meal. That's cheaper than pulling up to the McDaniels drive-thru, baby. Go to factormeals.com/runitback50. Use the promo code runitback50 for 50% off your first box.
Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
Sixers are looking to buy a second-round pick and more draft week intel. So he says, a source familiar with Philadelphia's strategy. That's an interesting, that's a new one for me. A source familiar with Philadelphia's strategy. Told Philly Voice on Tuesday.
Are we Philadelphia strategy?
We are familiar with Philadelphia's strategy.
I guess. Over
the past couple of seasons. Their strategy is sell us the same product and hope that something changes and hope the fan base didn't give up yet. It's getting close, though. I said last year was the last straw. I really think this one is the last straw. We're exploring multiple options for a second-round pick. Most likely scenario is simply buy a second-round pick. Source said the Sixers ownership has given the green light to Daryl Morey to be aggressive in his attempts to get into the draft. There is some belief they could acquire a pick in the mid to late 40s and potentially add a future rotation player on a team-friendly contract. They've worked out some players, some undrafted free agents and things like that. I think whoever it is or whatever it is, I definitely think we can say that at least this player might have a chance to show something a little bit more than, young players had the chance with Doc Rivers. I know they, Nurse plays all of his starters a lot of minutes, and that's what everyone, keeps talking about. But you can look at guys like Scotty Barnes and some other young guys that got run that who knows if they even get run under Doc Rivers. And Jaden Springer, I think, could have been used last year. He's got the size, he's got the body, he's got the defensive ability. He could have been used, and Doc's just like, no thanks. And, Isaiah Joe, no thanks. And Charles Bassey, no thanks. And so, at least if we get into the second round, we're drafting a player that, might play. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Nurse is more similar to Doc with that when it comes to, not playing young guys as much as they should. But I don't know, man. I would like to think that Springer gets some run this year. I think just defensively, he's good. I think he's like an NBA defender right now, which is good. We don't really have a lot of that. And I do think a rotation of Harden, if he stays, Maxey, Springer, and Melton as four guards. It's a good rotation. That's a pretty good rotation. I love Anthony Melton. I think was huge. It would have been nice if he hit one of those four wide open threes.
But nice, even came close.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell was that, DeAnthony? I've been having your back since you were in Memphis. Even at USC, I liked you, and then you really made me look like a clown there. But I think that's a really good defensive offensive unit we have in those four. So I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I would like to. We have to get a wing. We just have to get a dude who's 6'8" and can run. That's all we need, dude.
Is that McDaniels?
Yeah, I think McDaniels is staying. I would be really, really surprised if he went elsewhere. That would be an insane trade if he doesn't resign. That would be insane if he doesn't come back to Philadelphia.
Were you surprised that he ended up getting no playoff run at all, towards the end there?
More than anything. That was the most surprising thing of mine, because I'm like, dude, he's good. He's a good basketball player. He's 6'9", runs the floor well. He shoots above average from three for the most part. He's around average, but he's a good defender, and he's just a rebounder. And I was very surprised,
I remember when the rumor came out that we were trading Matisse Thybulle for him, and I made a joke. I was like, watch us trade Matisse Thybulle for Jalen McDaniels, and Doc Rivers doesn't even play him. And everybody laughed. But I started to learn that, every time I make a joke of something that sounds like it's impossible, it actually happens. And it actually happened. And it took him a while. He played him in the beginning, and it looked like, oh, look at this guy. He's doing a end-to-end. He gets a steal or a rebound, runs the other end, does a Euro step finish through traffic and one. And we're like, oh, look, Matisse could never do that. Thank God we made this trade. And then he ends up, just completely falling out of the rotation. And, yeah, I think it's just Doc didn't let players get in a rhythm. He didn't give them consistent minutes, consistent roles. He threw them around in different lineups all the time. And so a guy like Jalen McDaniels, again, he's not a shot creator. He's not a guy that's going to create an offense. and he just had to kind of like try to do things on the fly, and that can make a player look a lot worse than they really are.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the prospects in the NBA draft this year. I really don't.
I don't know anything about it.
Top like 6.
I don't
outside
either.
the top 6 to like 9, if that. I don't really know much. But I would like the Sixers to look for a flyer who's just an athlete right now and has chances to grow in other aspects of the game. But really all we need is a 3-and-D dude. I know that's a lot to ask for in an NBA draft, but the Sixers just need to find like a forward who can run and be Jalen McDaniels.
And maybe
So we just
dunk,
have a
maybe
bunch of
dunk
those
on
guys.
someone. Maybe dunk
That
on
would be
somebody.
cool.
When's the last time
That
a
would be
Sixers
cool.
player dunked a basketball?
Was it 03?
I think Andre Iguodala dunk contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was it.
Yeah,
No.
Little AI was the last dude we had who dunked. That's just another thing, dude. It's like, god damn, they're so not fun to watch.
And we're joking, by the way. Obviously, there were some dunks last year, but like in the grand scheme of things, they were just the slowest, most unathletic team.
I don't even know if I'm joking.
There was hardly ever that play that was just like bang, oh, the crowd goes crazy, the bench erupts. Like there was hardly ever that play.
Yeah, and that's been the case for a long time, dude. Like that's really been the case for a long time. That was I honestly, we haven't had those moments since the season that we lost to the Hawks, before Ben Simmons had his like mental breakdown.
He used to dunk on people. Well, not on people, beside people or around people.
Yeah, sometimes, dude. Sometimes Ben Simmons could throw one down on a dude.
I think his only poster was on Tyler Johnson.
Which was a sick poster, though.
Yeah, take that, Tyler Johnson. Everyone remembers that.